The explosion of violence was immediate and absolute. Barnaby didn't just charge, he blurred. The Garzith, empowered by the mana bond I shared with him, moved with a speed that defied physics. He crashed into the front line of the hunters like a battering ram made of fur and fury. Bodies flew. Attack, the lead hunter screamed, but his voice was cut short as Aamon moved. Aamon was a dancer of death. With his hand still locked in mine for a split second longer, he drew power from me, his shadow magic amplified by my arcane battery. He released my hand and surged forward, his greatsword carving arcs of midnight through the air. I didn't stand back. I slammed the butt of my staff into the ground, and a shockwave of purple gravity rippled out, knocking 3 assassins off their feet before they could reach Aamon's blind side. I didn't need incantations. I just willed it, and the magic obeyed. "Behind you," I shouted. Aamon didn't look, he trusted me. He ducked, and I sent a bolt of pure kinetic energy over his shoulder, blasting a hunter backward into the rock wall with a sickening crunch. We fought as one organism. When he stepped left, I covered his right. When I gathered mana for a blast, he shielded me with shadows until I was ready to fire. It was seamless. It was exhilarating. It was the most terrified and alive I had ever felt. The resonance between us sang. Every kill Aamon made fed energy back to me. Every spell I cast sharpened his blade. Within minutes, silence fell over the canyon entrance. The Usurper's elite guard lay broken on the stones. Barnaby sat atop a pile of 3 of them, licking blood from his paw with the air of a job well done. Aamon stood amidst the carnage, chest heaving, his sword dripping black ichor. He looked magnificent, terrifying, and regal. He turned to me, the adrenaline still wild in his eyes. He crossed the distance between us in 2 long strides. "Are you hurt?" he demanded, gripping my shoulders. He scanned me frantically for wounds. "I'm fine," I panted, grinning like a maniac. "That was effective." Aamon stared at me, his gaze dropping to my lips. The battle lust in his eyes shifted into something else entirely. The barrier that had existed between prince and human, between master and servant, had been obliterated in the fight. "You fought like a king," he said roughly. "I fought like your partner," I corrected him. Aamon let out a shuddering breath. "Liam." He didn't ask for permission this time. He didn't hesitate. He grabbed the back of my neck and crashed his mouth down onto mine. It wasn't a gentle kiss. It was hungry, desperate, and possessive. It tasted of blood and ozone and victory. I groaned, wrapping my arms around his neck, pulling him closer, deepening the kiss until I couldn't tell where I ended and he began. His tongue swept into my mouth, claiming me just as surely as he claimed his enemies. I met him stroke for stroke, the magic in our blood singing in harmony. When we finally broke apart, gasping for air, Aamon rested his forehead against mine. His hands were trembling where they gripped my waist. "My brother sits on a throne that belongs to us," Aamon whispered, the plural heavy with meaning. "He thinks I am weak. He thinks I am alone." I looked up at him, tracing the sharp line of his cheekbone. "He's wrong." Aamon smiled then, a true smile, fierce and bright and dangerous. "Yes, he is." He turned to look out over the wastes of the scar, toward the distant, smoking spires of the Iron City. "Albert," Aamon called out without looking back. The cat poked his head out from behind a particularly safe-looking boulder. "Is the testosterone fest over? Can we go?" "We are going," Aamon said, grabbing my hand and interlacing our fingers. His grip was iron-tight. "We are going to the capital." "To conquer it?" I asked, looking at the profile of the demon I was apparently falling in love with. Aamon looked at me, his eyes glowing with promise. "To take it back, and then, perhaps I will let you scratch me behind the ears." I laughed, the sound echoing off the canyon walls. "Careful, your highness, I might hold you to that." With a massive, lumbering Garzith at our heels and a complaining cat trailing behind, we stepped out of the shadows of the cave and began the long march toward the throne. Hell didn't stand a chance.